Brazil's southern interior is the country's breadbasket. Small rural communities worked hard to carve a living off this land by maximising local resources. CRERAL is a community cooperative created in 1969 to manage electricity in the area. Originally, the cooperative bought its power from large-scale hydro and fossil fuel sources. But the electricity was expensive and supply limited, so the members took matters into their own hands, empowering themselves with water and gravity. Mini hydro plants that use the force of water from small streams to generate power.
Small streams can be used for electricity generation, but much more than just that. They're economically viable and environmentally sustainable.
This system of small dams is called a run-of-river, where you don't cause a lot of environmental impact. The families are not expelled from the area because it's just a small stream. It doesn't produce any flooding. This has the power to supply around 2,500 families, and with an average of 4 people per family, a total of 10,000 people can be supplied with electricity from this Andorinhas waterfall at its maximum capacity.
Brazil is famous for its massive hydroelectric dams spread throughout the country, but these have often displaced farming families.
So this concept came about that it's not enough to simply produce electricity. The electricity has to be produced in a sustainable, economical, social and environmental way.
The new source of reliable electricity is both environmentally friendly and can generate new business.
In the past, we could not work with milk because the milk would go bad. There wasn't a way to store the milk, but now with the fridge, it's different. We could now start to work with milk because agriculture is becoming much more difficult. Production expenses are high. We still work on the land. We grow soya, corn, beans, rice. And now we are investing. We have plans to invest in milk.
CRERAL might be a small community cooperative, but its success in developing reliable electricity is inspiring its members.
It's now 11, right? 12 or 13 years. We started working with milk. We used to draw milk by hand. At the time, the situation was difficult. We worked with our hands, but we started developing our business, so we realized we had to expand. So when we developed our business, we had to install a mechanical process for drawing milk using electricity.
My God, if it had not been for the electricity, we used it for everything. At the beginning we had simple equipment, then we started changing, buying more equipment. We bought another tank, the milk tank was bigger, it got much better. Inside the house too, everything. There's more comfort. Electricity also brings more comfort.
CRERAL's members are determined to build on their hard-won success. The organisation's 2 turbines provide around 25% of its electricity needs, enough for a reliable, cost-effective supply. But CRERAL has plans for more mini hydro plants to eventually provide for all of the area's electricity needs.
Above all, the main project of the cooperative is to produce all its electricity. So we're relying on this being a strong mechanism to sustain the cooperative, to reduce the membership fees, to improve the level of assistance to our members. Now our aim is to produce all the electricity.
The proven economic, social and environmental benefits of mini hydro mean that CRERAL is working with other partners on plans for more mini hydro plants.
Alderi, the Prado. Please, we'll be speaking through a translator.
Bom dia a todos, eu quero agradecer a Ashden e ao Colégio Imperial por essa oportunidade.
Good morning all. I'd like to thank the Ashden Awards and Imperial College for the opportunity to be here.
A CRERAL, quando iniciou, o objetivo principal poder levar energia elétrica para os seus associados.
When we started CRERAL, our main aim was to bring electrical power to all our associates.
Quando ela iniciou, nenhum agricultor na nossa região tinha energia elétrica.
Back then, none of our small farmers in our region had access to electrical power at all.
A cooperativa tem hoje 6.300 associados.
Our cooperative today has 6,300 associates.
E foi criado várias formas de participação e de organização para que o associado possa decidir o futuro da cooperativa.
And many forms of participation in association has been generated so the associates can take decisions, be involved in the decision making of all the process of generation and supply of energy.
A cooperativa tem como meta principal a distribuição de energia nos seus 1.800 quilômetros de rede que são necessários.
One of our main aims is to supply energy to our associates via the 1,800 kilometers of grid that we own.
Para poder atender os nossos 6.300 associados.
So we can take energy, electrical power to our associates.
A rede é operada e o serviço todo de manutenção é feito pela cooperativa.
All the generation, operation, supply and maintenance of the electrical power is taken by the associates.
Em uma assembleia geral, os associados da cooperativa decidiram que deveríamos investir em geração de energia elétrica.
In 1997, during a General Assembly, our associates decided that we should go into generation of electricity as well.
E a geração de energia deveria ser em pequenos potenciais hidrelétricos para aproveitar o seu benefício, não só de energia gerada, mas os demais também.
And we decided that the generation of energy should be done via mini hydro plants, because the benefits would be not only the generation of electrical power, but also environmental benefits.
O nosso primeiro projeto foi a usina de Abaúna.
The Abaúna hydro plant was our first project.
Ela está em operação desde o ano 2000.
It's been operating since 2000.
E para construir, 60% dos seus recursos foram de contribuição dos próprios associados.
And for the building up of the hydro plant, 60% of the money needed came directly from the cooperative associates.
Nosso segundo projeto, Cascata das Andorinhas, nós construímos com 70% já dos recursos financiados.
For our second project, called Cascata das Andorinhas, we could count with 70% of investment from a National Development Bank of Brazil.
Nós podemos ver aqui algumas das formas de uso de energia dos nossos associados.
As you can see on screen, these are some of the ways our associates have been using electrical power.
Nós incentivamos aos associados a utilizar energia no sistema produtivo.
Our big incentive is that our associates use electricity to improve their productivity.
Como a criação de aves, suínos, produção de leite.
Like swine farming, chicken farming, or the production of milk, for instance.
Porém, ainda há uma grande parte dos associados que utilizam para a iluminação e bem-estar da casa.
But not only that, great part of our associates use it for their own comfort, quality of life, for instance, for the electrification of their own houses.
Os benefícios que nós entendemos, que nós conseguimos ter com a renda que a cooperativa tem.
The income of the cooperative enables us many benefits, for instance.
O resultado financeiro. O resultado financeiro que a cooperativa tem, ele retorna em investimento para os seus próprios associados.
The income that we have can be returned for the own associates of the cooperative.
Atualmente, Os benefícios são na melhoria da rede, na qualidade do serviço e em novos projetos de geração.
And not only that, but the income would go into the improvement of the grid, the improvement of maintenance and the generation of new forms of energy.
Com os nossos projetos, eu posso concluir.
I would like to conclude by saying
que a geração de energia em pequenos aproveitamentos é perfeitamente viável.
That the generation of energy through mini hydro plants is extremely viable.
Tanto do ponto de vista técnico, social, ambiental, como financeiro.
In all aspects, technical, social, economic and environmental.
E é possível de replicar em qualquer lugar do mundo.
And it's possible to be replicated everywhere in the world. Thank you.
Making it to the shelves of a European supermarket is just a dream for most African farmers. But Fruits of the Nile is a company which has shown it can be done by producing dried tropical fruit. Nora Kagimu is one of the star producers.
This is my farm. We have about 500 trees here on 2.5 acres, and we grow 3 different varieties of banana.
Nora Kagimu began drying bananas in 1994, but when her husband died, she needed a guaranteed income to support 5 children. With Fruits of the Nile's help, she scaled up her business. Today, she's employing 5 people and buys in bananas from local farmers to meet demand.
I had some fears that this kind of business would only last for a very short time. I didn't think it was that serious. But I'm amazed because all the time the business is expanding.
Nora's farm is in Mbarara in southwest Uganda. Here, banana farmers are at the mercy of large price fluctuations. In the high season, there's oversupply, prices nosedive, and often the crop goes to waste.
When the market's not there, some use their bananas for compost, and others just feed them to their animals.
Fruits of the Nile has developed a source-to-sale drying process and provides a year-round market, so there's no waste in times of surplus. The key is to have the value-added processing happen at the farm rather than at a central factory. The dryers are an appropriate technology, easily built and maintained to keep insects out while letting the sun's energy do the work. No chemicals are used, weeding is done by hand, and all waste is composted. In about 2 days, the bananas are dry.
It's okay. They are ready now.
Primary producers have to meet stringent international hygiene standards. Hands and utensils are washed, hair and clothing covered, and once packed, dried bananas are kept safe from any contamination.
At first it was a bit difficult, but now this work is very easy for us. We like the way we wash and the way we dress for work. We liked the work and now it's become very easy for us to do it.
The bananas are delivered to Fruits of the Nile's headquarters near Kampala. Nora makes the 10-hour journey once a month. At the factory, they are handed over for sorting.
Now when the product comes into here, we need to inspect it thoroughly. Quality cannot be compromised, and the export market requires strict quality measures like what we go through here. It is a burden, but we have no choice because it is one of the requirements of the export market.
There are 3 products: sweet bananas, chewy bananas, and dry pineapple, sourced from 120 producers who buy from 840 registered farmers. The fruit is packaged and sent by sea to the UK. Meanwhile, Nora gets paid. It's good money. Dried bananas are worth 10 times more than fresh. Producers can make over 50% profit. Nora's put money into her house and built an extension, but most importantly, she sent all 5 of her children to school. Next year, 3 will attend university. Mbarara has been hit hard by AIDS, and many families have to take in extra children from relatives who have died. These carers have joined forces to become a Fruits of the Nile producer group. They donate the fresh fruit and share the processing and the profits. Biingi Lovance cares for her 6 orphaned grandchildren.
I can get books for the children and clothing and pay their school fees. I think their future is bright. If they keep going to school, they will get an education and then they will be able to make something of themselves in the world. It will help them succeed.
All of the producers want to sell more fruit, but so far there's a limited market. Angelo thinks that the secret of expanding the market lies in going organic.
We have high hopes of getting certified organic, and we have gone through the first round of inspection. It will mean an increase on the number of outlets, and it would mean a sustainable market for our products. We shall be sure that the product will keep selling forever and ever.
Fruits of the Nile has got this far thanks to training along the supply chain, from documentation to bookkeeping, and now to learning organic techniques. Good business skills have been introduced all the way from the farm to the head office, and everyone gets a fair share of the profits.
Welcome Angello Ndyaguma for his presentation.
Thank you very much. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Ashden, for this opportunity to talk to this congregation. I'm from Uganda, which is a landlocked country, and we are far off from the nearest seaport, which is 1,500 kilometers away. Uganda has a population of about 30 million, but 90% live in the rural areas, and they depend on small-scale subsistence agriculture. Uganda climate varies, and all throughout the year we can have some agriculture activity going on. Close to 85% of the economy is engaged in small acreage, subsistence, agro-based primary production. There is hardly any serious processing. Our project of fruit drying started in 1991 by myself and Adam and Kate, who later went off to the UK here to start marketing the products. And we are targeting the rural areas where mostly the youth and women are more productive. In high seasons, there is always overproduction, and most of the products go to waste. So we are targeting the excess that goes to waste to get people and some money from it. And we targeted a few crops, which include apple, banana, the bogoya banana, pineapple, and papaya. And looking at the photographs, the first one shows one of our first consignments. And I was taking it to the airport. And the next one shows Kate at one of the stores in southeast London trying to sell the product. And the other one is for our training materials. In the process, we faced quite a number of challenges, and some of these, which I highlight, are that these crops which we process are highly perishable and seasonal. They are on 2 months in the year, and then they are off. And then there is little processing or storage to handle these products in our country. We have the poorest infrastructure in Central Africa, poor roads, no inland railways. We don't know about cold storage, and the seaport is far away. And in many instances, production exceeds demand. And this is from poor farmers who are small scale, and they are subsistence, and they are staying in the rural areas. And these farmers can hardly read or write. I try to avoid the word illiterate because they are not necessarily illiterate, but they can't read and write. We did our best to overcome a number of the challenges by use of sustainable appropriate technology using just a solar dryer as you saw in the film. And what we do, we train these farmers. However, we target those ones who have attitudes to change and adapt. Some farmers are hardliners, they may not change and adapt. And Fruits of the Nile has a committed staff, as you can see in the photo on the left-hand side. And of course, when we dry this fruit, it means that the fruit becomes semi-perishable. It can withstand more than 6 weeks of a journey from Uganda to the UK market here. And we, of course, offer stable and fair prices to those people who do drying. And what has actually made us thrive is that we have a committed UK marketing partner, Full Meal Tropical Whole Foods. And we've been partnering with some organizations which have helped us to grow, and some of them include the Ashden, Shell Foundation, and recently Comic Relief of Sainsbury's. And in the southern part of the country, there is good political environment that helps business to thrive. And we have made quite a number of achievements, and if you see from the photograph, that's our pack house. And the next photograph shows dryer operators in one of the regions where the film was shot. And we now boast of 600 solar dryers, and our current production is 120 metric tons, while in 1991 we only were struggling to produce half a ton. And we've been adding value to our products. And we generate income, and the product gets a longer shelf life. We sell our products in alternative markets, and we have enough tonnage. And in the process, we have even installed PV systems. And the achievements are quite many, but in conclusion, we find that solar drying with organic farming and solar PV in rural areas can effectively reduce on poverty. And it's possible to get rural people to form micro businesses. And it has been seen that private enterprises can increase on rural people's income. And our project is a successful example of a business working with NGOs to enhance income generation, although we are using a social approach. Thank you for listening.
So two very interesting presentations, quite different, but with a theme of applying sustainability and bringing tremendous economic benefit. So we have 10 minutes for questions. Again, if you keep your questions to the point and give your affiliation as you're asking your question. So do we have some questions, please?
Yes, mango is one of the fruits which we want to revive. It is actually the fruit we first dried, and it was in the north of the country, but because of political insecurity, we forgot about it. So we are looking at mango, we are looking at other tropical fruits, like other types of banana, and we grow some apples also. We would want to dry those.
Thank you.
Last year was actually the first time we could commercialize our carbon credits. And even so, we could only do it in the volunteer market. And what we received is actually a very, very small percentage of what we've been... yeah, it's a very small percentage of the cost of implementing new or even the ongoing hydro plants. Our estimate is that 5% of the costs could be covered with carbon credits. Indeed, the cost of operation and maintenance of our hydro plants is very low. And yeah, this is to do with our cooperative model and the way we manage our hydro plants. He says that in Brazil, 70% of the electricity generated is in very big hydroelectrics. Yes, we do have smaller hydro plants. In a very small scale. And recently it's been more widespread, those smaller hydro plants. For an instance, there are hydro plants of 50 kilowatts already working. In the mini hydro plants, our system has a net that prevents residues and fish to go into the turbines where the water is being captured.
I just had a question about whether there was a possibility to apply some sort of scientific investigation of the process in manufacture and the efficiency of the drying.
Yeah, we did, in my first slide, we showed some books. We did some investigation on the dryer with the Natural Resources Institute of Chatham, and a few things were documented, so it is scientifically proven, and even the NRI did it with the government of Uganda Agricultural Research Institute to get where this dryer is.
Thank you. So we'll close the session there, and just to thanks to the presenters.
Could I just thank all our presenters this morning very much for such an interesting start for the day, and also for keeping within our rather rigorous time schedule. Because of this, we have the allotted half-hour coffee break. We deliberately keep the presentation short because a lot of what I hope you will do will be to have the chance to talk to the people that have presented and to the people that will be presenting later today. Also, please note we've got detailed case studies, paper copies on all of these outside, and the case studies are also on our website, and probably by next week the films will be on our website as well. So please remember that all these resources we hope you will make use of, but particularly today make use of the fact that the people that have actually done this are here. So do please take the opportunity to talk to them and find out more. So please could you be back in here so that we can start again at 11:35. Thank you.